If I relax, I can move, pull with tension, relax. Now there's tension I can create again. Now I can throw, right? Gripping isn't just about holding on. Gripping is about knowing when to open up, when to let go, when to relax, when to apply tension, when to apply distance, right? Partner, we're just gonna warm up, moving and gripping, just kind of getting into position. So it's all like maybe 20, 30%. Everyone is real helpful in this. No one's playing defensive. What I want is one person to come out. I assume that they're gonna be same-sided, so not mirrored stance. So here we're gonna attack the sleeve first. When we catch the sleeve, we wanna make sure that we're starting to immediately drive it across the center line, right? What we have to get away from mentally when we grip is we can't just be happy that we got it and hang on to it and do nothing. Once we get a grip, we have to start moving our partner. Typically, the way we do that is we're gonna cross the stream, we're gonna push it across the belt line, and we're gonna try to outflank them, right? Once we get to their flank, it forces them to have to react. Once they react, I can put my second hand on, and now I can pull to the top of the triangle and start moving, right? So what I want for this opening salvo is as we get in, get a hold of the grip, drive it across, and then start to outflank so that your partner forces the movement. Okay, and then reset. So we'll go like, I don't know, 10 times each. Like I really want this to get cemented in. So we're coming in, and if they want to try and grab, that's fine. Or you could be the offensive one, it doesn't matter how it works. As soon as you get that grip, push it across and start closing the distance. Notice I'm not just sliding to the side and keeping him at distance. I'm driving it, and I'm trying to connect my shoulder. But I'm trying to close this distance, and I'm trying to force him in. So now he has no choice, but he has to face me. When he does, that's when the second hand comes on, and then I can pull to the top of the triangle and we're in business, okay? So real easy, right? We're all warming up, hands are cold. So go 10 times each, put that hand on, drive it across, and then get to the side and force that movement from your partner. For the other person, when they start to outflank you, be natural about it and move, right? Don't just sit here like a dead fish. Your partner gets a grip and then just drives it across and you're like, okay, cool, good job, good rep, dude. Give them feedback. So if he comes in, he takes control of the sleeve, drives it across. As he comes around to the side, right, we're gonna chase a little bit, just a couple steps, but just to get that natural reaction, right? Because in a real match, you're not gonna sit there and let your partner walk to your back, right? Questions on this? All right, let's go 10 times each. Ready, 1, 2, 3. Should be fairly simple, should be fairly routine by now, but just like I said, we wanna make sure that we're resetting the baseline. So partner comes out in their stance, we get control of the sleeve, we drive it across. Notice like when I come in and I'm reaching for that hand, I'm connecting to the wrist, I'm connecting to my partner, not to his gi. As I go to shift it, that's when I find the pistol grip, right? Everything kind of gets sucked in and I'm pressing it across. Now I have leverage on my wrist and I'm pushing it in. As I go to outflank him, he's gonna turn to face. When he turns to face, I keep pressure on the sleeve until my other hand connects. And you can connect anywhere on the gi or over top, right? It depends on your partner. If my partner or my opponent is shorter than me, I'll probably take a top grip and then I'll start to frame. If he's taller than me, I'll come in on the chest and then I'll push the hand up, right? Either way, this hand needs to be higher than this hand. So if I have control of the wrist, he's not gonna let me keep it. He's gonna start to fight back. As he fights back, I need to get my second hand on and I need to keep my hand position higher than his hand position. So if we back this up and we just go to a classic 50-50 grip, so we both have collar sleeve, right now our hands are in the relative same height position, right? No one has an advantage. This is true neutral gripping. This is why we do all of our practicing from here, is because there's no advantage. To claim an advantage, I can either shift his hand down, now his hand is slightly lower than mine, or I can fight my hand up, which now my hand is really above his. So now I have far more leverage to throw him than he does to me. If he keeps his hands here and we do the same motion, I steer and then he steers, go ahead and just try to move your hands. Look how much movement he has to have before it affects me, right? All this gi has to move, there's all of this slack, and then I go. From here, it's a flick of the wrist and he's already off balance, right? So hand position matters. Hand height relative to each other matters. So as I control this hand, I'm keeping it low on purpose so that I can get a high hand advantage. When my hand comes in and connects, he's gonna try to turn and he's gonna try to start fighting this hand back. As the hand comes up, so does my hand. Now, notice my hand is high and my forearm is in his chest, right? My frame isn't the wrist on the collarbone. Now it's forearm on the chest. Look how much distance I don't have between us. I'm controlling the space with my forearm and I'm keeping his hips turned with his sleeve. If I want him to go that way, turn it away. If I want him to come this way, I turn it away. This keeps the distance managed. Here, close in, close out. Now I've got really good coverage. I've got a sleeve grip, I've got a high collar grip, my hands are winning in this position, and my hips are square and his hips are open. If his hips are closed this way and my hips are closed this way, there's no chance of throwing. But because we pulled to the top of the triangle, his hips are completely open, all exposed to me, and I have my lead hip close to his hip. So now it's really easy to turn throw. It's really easy to step backwards, right? Everything's available. And it all starts with my hand position. So now we're gonna keep moving, keep progressing. He's gonna reach, I catch, I'm gonna drive it across. I'm gonna outflank my partner. As I drive it around, hand comes in, connect. As soon as this happens, I'm gonna raise my hand up and I'm gonna drive my forearm into his chest. So now I've got him here, the distance is managed with the forearm, and I've got control of his hips with my sleeve grip. Make sense? From here, all I want you guys to do now is either go backwards, so take one step and pull, or from here, take one step forward and push, just to get used to the control that this offers you, okay? If you're working with somebody who's taller and or shorter than you, adjust your grip accordingly, right? If they are shorter than you, get used to this grip. In my top grip, I don't like grabbing the foam collar, right? The foam collar is dense, it's hard to squeeze, it'll drive your forearms crazy. Whereas instead, if you just come over the shoulder, find the excess gi material and get it like, contact, right? We're not like grabbing and trying to find whatever's extra, right? Contact, bunch that up, and then I'm using my wrist to bring him down. When you play with a high hand over the shoulder, you need to bring their head down. If their head does not come over their body and they're able to stand straight up, this hand is actually doing less favor for you because there's no frame involved. So here, especially in a jiu-jitsu context, if I don't control his head from here and I have this grip feeling confident about myself, all he has to do is put his head, his ear on my hip and connect to the leg. This frame is worthless. It does nothing for me. If I bring his head down and I control it, now when he goes for that single, there's a frame in the way. It's much more difficult. So if we play with this top hand, we have to have pressure. If we play with the inside hand, it needs to be high, and then the frame is provided with our forearm, okay? So with our partner, come out, collect the hand, drive it across, outflank them. When they come across, we connect, pull, set up that grip, right? My wrist is flexed, my forearm is engaged, and then it's just whatever you want. Push back or pull forward just to get that feeling of what the control gives you with this setup. Okay, so we're still warming up, hands still at like 50, 60%, right? Nobody needs to hurt their fingers here. Partner, you're still very, very helpful. Good? All right, let's go about 5 each. Ready, 1, 2, 3.